am Naba Surur, part of the NITI Aayog team, and I am honored to welcome you all to this pivotal national workshop on improving the innovation aptitude and the performance of the states and the union territories. Our journey through time has been marked by the rich cultural history, a narrative of resilience, creativity, and forward thinking that has propelled India through the millennia. Today, as we stand at the cusp of the future, our commitment to innovation continues to drive our progress. In the past 6 years, India has achieved remarkable strides on the Global Innovation Index, a testament to our evolving capabilities. Yet, the road ahead beckons us to transcend these accomplishments, challenging us to push our boundaries and reach new heights. The states and the union territories are the bedrock of this progress, playing an indispensable role in shaping robust innovation ecosystems. The NITI Aayog stands resolute in providing the necessary knowledge, support, and technical assistance, steering towards a collective vision of a more innovative and prosperous India. The India Innovation Index, our compass for progress, which the NITI Aayog has been publishing annually since the year 2019, goes beyond evaluation. It serves as a guide underscoring the urgency of addressing disparities and fostering competitive federalism between the center and the state. Today, as we immerse ourselves in this vibrant forum of ideas, let us collectively craft a vision, an innovative roadmap that surpasses challenges and paves the way for an inclusive, innovation-driven India. The possibilities are boundless, and our collaboration is a catalyst for transformative change. I now request all the dignitaries to kindly come on the dais. And to officially inaugurate the event, I am delighted to invite Dr. Neeraj Sinha, Senior Advisor, NITI Aayog, for the welcome address.
Thank you, Naba. It's my proud privilege today to welcome the Vice Chairman, NITI Aayog, the Member Science and Technology, NITI Aayog, the Secretary, Ministry of Earth Sciences, the Member Health, NITI Aayog, and all dignitaries from the state government, from the union territories who have come all the way to be with us today. All other colleagues from the Government of India ministries and departments, my own colleagues from the NITI Aayog who are sitting on the first and the second rows and far behind in the auditorium. It's my privilege to welcome all of you to this NITI State workshop series. It's a part of a chain of workshops that the NITI Aayog has planned to convene in the current financial year on various sectoral topics. Quite a few of them have already happened, and we are requesting the state governments to participate actively along with the administrators of the union territories. All these workshops are being held across the country, so we decided to do ours in Delhi. There was some confusion despite our best efforts on the location of the venue, but fortunately we are all here. Initially the venue was Vigyan Bhavan, but now it was shifted about a week, 10 days ago to this place because of a presidential program happening there tomorrow in Vigyan Bhavan. So without much ado, I'll now request Naba to continue with the program. It's my privilege to welcome all of you again. We have a very long and a very involved agenda. We have 5 panel discussions after the inaugural session. Then we have a valedictory session. It stretches right up to a little late in the evening. We are expecting all of you to actually participate, especially the representatives from the state government and the union territories. And of course, my own colleagues from the NITI Aayog and all our colleagues from the other ministries and departments of the Government of India. So, a warm welcome to all of you again, and I'll pass on the floor to Naba to continue with the proceedings of the workshop. Thank you so much, and good morning again.
Thank you, sir. It is with great pleasure that I now extend a cordial invitation to Dr. M. Ravichandran, Secretary, Ministry of Earth Sciences. His profound expertise and leadership in the field have been instrumental in shaping our nation's approach to environmental sustainability and innovation, especially the blue economy. His invaluable insights are sure to enhance our discussions. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Ravichandran to the dais.
Shri Suman Bery, Vice Chairman NITI Aayog, Dr. V.K. Saraswat, Member SNT and NITI Aayog, and Dr. Neeraj Sinha, Advisor NITI Aayog, distinguished delegates and invitees and friends. Very good morning to all of you. I am Ravichandran. Actually, I am from Ministry of Earth Sciences, and we deal the Earth system holistically in all the spheres. So there are about 5 spheres. One is atmosphere, and other one is a hydrosphere, and geosphere, and cryosphere, and associated biospheres. We look at holistically what we can innovate, what we can do science in that, and what we can provide the services from this. So that is our mission mandate of the Ministry of Earth Sciences. Of course, our basic intention is how to translate maybe whatever the science has come out, how to translate science to services for the benefit of society. We call S cube, S for science and services and for the society. So that is our mantra. For that, what are the things we need to do? First, we need to take some observations. From the observations, we translate to data, that is, it is providing data. And from the data, we innovate and try to find the knowledge. From the knowledge, we try to get some information. From the information, we provide the services. And finally, it goes to advisory services. So that is our main motive in all the 3 spheres, all the 5 spheres, of course, 3 state of matter. We look at gaseous state atmosphere, liquid state ocean, and solid state solid earth. So both is having a lot of opportunities as well as it is having some challenges to face with. So here I will mainly focus on one particular aspect because I cannot cover all the aspects, but I will cover only one thing. What are the opportunity exist in one of the sphere? It is hydrosphere. It is mainly on the water, in the ocean. So as you all know that ocean provides oceans of opportunity. Of course, it is a seas of challenges. I mean provide oceans of opportunity. Ocean feeds us in terms of food, fisheries, aquaculture, seaweeds and other things. And it is also regulate our weather and climate. Without ocean, we cannot have a regulation mechanism for the weather and climate. And it is also generate oxygen from the phytoplankton. Every alternative breath what we are breathing, it comes from the ocean because of the phytoplankton. So that means half of the oxygen comes from the ocean. And also it is also having a largest carbon sink. And also it is provides countless benefits about not only living resources, but also non-living resources. And also it is opportunity for tourism and recreation, which is not about to capture so far much. And finally, the maritime transport. About 95% of the volume of our materials transported through ship. How innovative way we can transport, that is a blue economy. And of course, we have a security as well as a coastal protection mechanism in place in ocean. So it comes under SDG 14. Of course, you all know that it is life below water under Sustainable Development Goal 14. It is one of the main themes. These are some of the opportunities. So we can harness ocean resources, both living and non-living. But at the same time, we have the challenges. What are the challenges? Ocean-related disaster like tsunami, cyclone, associated storm surges, and sea level rise, and also oil leak, and marine heat wave. Nowadays started marine heat wave, thereby you have a fish mortality, and also harmful algal bloom. It's happening nowadays. So these are the challenges we have to encounter and the opportunity we have to harness. So the new way of making in the ocean resources is the blue economy. Basically, blue economy is nothing but harnessing ocean resources sustainably. That means ocean resources plus sustainability is a blue economy. That is the main thing. So only we cannot harness the ocean because it is sustainability to be in place. And it is basically a new developmental paradigm, this ocean blue economy. And also it is basically it is using sustainable use of, or maybe scientific use of marine resources. And it is also unveils emerging industries, including many of the renewable energies, aquaculture, seabed extractive activities, blue biotechnology, and also bioprospecting, many other things. Of course, embrace the ocean ecosystem in terms of carbon sequestration, coastal protection, and waste disposal. All these things is possible under the blue economy. And apart from that, without this blue economy, basically it is indispensable for addressing many of the global challenges. So that is why it is very important. So there are many areas I can go on talk about the blue economy. Some of the things just I will list out where we need to focus, where we need to innovate to harness the ocean resources. Of course, I mentioned fisheries and aquaculture, oil and gas, ultra deep water oil and gas, mining, deep sea mining, energy, in terms of ocean energy, various kinds of energy, water, manufacturing sector, seafood processing, marine biotechnology, pharmaceutical, and shipbuilding and repair, and many other construction and dredging of marine things, shipping and ports, and so on. So there are many opportunities are available under the blue economy. Of course, it is mainly concentrated and focused to the coastal states, maybe the 9 coastal states and 4 union territories are benefited. So we have made each state what are the resources available. If you talk about only one resources, energy resource from, if you see the total amount of energy available in our EZ is roughly about maybe 10 to 100 terawatts. But what is the technology available? Maybe 1 to 10 terawatts. Only technology available to harness. So we need to go for more technology. But whatever technology is available, economically feasible technology, maybe even 1 terawatt. So even that, why we do not harness that side? You take it ocean thermal energy. That means whenever you have a 20-degree difference in temperature, we can harness the energy. But in ocean salt energy, whenever there is a 20 PSU difference is there, wherever the river meets the ocean, that gradient will have 20 PSU, we can produce the electricity. And then we have a current energy, ocean current, coastal currents are abundant of currents are there. We can make a turbine and wave energy, tidal energy, and so much energies are there. And solar panel, we can keep it in the ocean. Why we have to only depend on this one? So wave riding solar panels we can have. So there are so many opportunities are there. We can harness the energy from that. And also water. When we talk about water, we have unique methodology. We have made it. How do we harness the water from the ocean? It is not like a desalination, conventional desalination like a salt brine and other things. We have unique technology where the 20-degree temperature we can use, take the fresh or salt water from the surface and evaporate that salt water with some of the low pressure area, then cool with the subsurface water, then you can have a fresh water. So which we have developed 1 million liter water in Lakshadweep, but it is not possible everywhere, but we can have wherever the opportunities available. In some coast is very deep self, there we can opportunity. So there are many opportunities are available under the blue economy. So I request maybe each state, maybe we can communicate later. This is just I want to give in 10 minutes what are the possible opportunity to do that. Each state having some potential, we can discuss separately state-wise, but I look forward, let us go together, dive into the ocean and harness the ocean potential sustainably for the global common as well as for the services to the benefit of the society. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your thought-provoking address. Your words have surely added depth and perspective to the subject, and we are grateful for your shared vision. We are honored to have you with us. Esteemed guests, I am privileged to warmly invite the legendary Dr. V.K. Saraswat, Honorable Member, NITI Aayog. His visionary insights and unwavering commitment to fostering innovation will undoubtedly enrich our discussions on building state and union territory level innovation ecosystems. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Saraswat to share his invaluable perspective with us.
Very good morning, Honorable Vice Chairman Shri Suman Bery ji, my friend and colleague Mr. Ravichandran, and another colleague of mine, Mr. Sinha, Member NITI Aayog, Dr. V.K. Paul, and all the advisors, distinguished guests today for attending this seminar workshop. Very aptly given the name, Innovation Aptitude. How to improve innovation aptitude. If one has to really look at innovation aptitude, one has to go into the definition of innovation. Because unless we know what we are looking at, we cannot talk about its aptitude. So aptitude in this case is, basically we are all talking of creativity, ideation, leading to conversion of ideas into a value-added product. These new ideas always result into something which will go to the market tomorrow and that will earn. So that's why nations have actually identified that innovation is the engine of growth. It is one of the drivers which has been identified today. So this creativity is extended into extended into what is called implementation of the value. That is what we are talking of. Innovation is also associated in some way as a particular methodology how we will do it. As we say, you think that you have got an idea, then that idea can be mulled over, then we can look at how do you experiment it with that idea, and then we find that yes, there is some light at the end of the tunnel and that particular idea has got some possibility of its maturing into a probable product or a concept or a process. So that is where the innovation cycle goes in the form of a cusp. You reach that heightened imagination, and that from there onwards when we get into what is called identifying, repeating and verifying the concepts which you have developed, that is where the actual process starts, where you run into various difficulties. And many people fall into what is called the valley of death at that point in time. They are not able to swim through that. Now all this process is dependent upon how much support you are likely to get from the ecosystem. If the ecosystem is not in a position to support you to swim through the valley of death, then many of these ideas remain in that particular state. And that's why you have to have an ecosystem which will support the ideation process, support the swimming through the valley of death, and once you come out of the valley of death, you will be in a position to do what is called leading to commercialization, leading to prototyping, and then finally commercialization and things like that. Now, to look at that, this is the framework in which the innovation works. Now, for many years, India has been doing innovation. India, in fact, has been at the forefront for the last centuries. We have invented so many new things in our earlier days. But in the last 10 years, there has been a major focus on innovation. Our Honorable Prime Minister has said that only our long-term global competitiveness will depend not only on replicating what others have done, but will emerge through a process of sustained development and innovation. And he said in the Indian Science Congress 2023 that scientific efforts can turn into great achievements only when they hit the ground from the lab, when their impact is from global to the grassroots, when they expand from journals to reality, and when the innovation from research reflect in real time. See, this is the kind of thing that has happened. Now, if you look at what has happened in the last 10 years, India is home to the third largest startup ecosystem in the world, with over 90,000 startups with a combined valuation of almost about 450 billion. We also boast about 9,300 active investors that have invested over $131 billion in Indian startups. And we note that 45% of these startups are from Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities, and 44% have at least one woman as a director. These are some of the major parameters which indicate how our innovation in the last decade has improved. These startups have also generated almost about 4.56 lakhs jobs and are expected to generate around 5 times that number over the remaining decade. This is despite the fact that India's gross expenditure, R&D, is significantly lower than the rest of the countries. It is only about 0.7% of the over the last decade, and well below the world average of about 1.8, and developed countries average about 3.2%. So it is in our innovation improvement is also visible through its rapid improvement in the global innovation index. As Sabha was mentioning, we have jumped from 80 to 40, and this 80 to 40 has been due to the various steps taken by our governments and various agencies, particularly initiatives like Atal Innovation Mission, which focuses on creating a culture of innovation across schools and universities, Innovation for Defense Excellence called IDEX, which seeks to reduce the strategic offset with indigenous technologies, BIREX Technological Ignition Grant, which has revolutionized biotechnology research in India, and many more. These initiatives have acted as a platform that has boosted innovation in India. But we must also pay closer attention to the composition of India's innovation ecosystem. The vast majority of the startups in India operate in the sectors like enterprise technology, e-commerce or fintech, and are essentially IT-enabled service providers. Business process innovation is one of our major areas of excellence. Even now, investors can lean towards startups offering customers focused innovation or efficiency-driven innovation. These are undoubtedly essential for the economy and have been key contributors to the current growth and development we experience. But there is a need now for us to translate or to transform ourselves into focusing on deep tech innovation. The number of startups across all deep tech sectors is less than a third of those under enterprise technology sectors alone. Since 2014, there have been about 362 startups in deep tech sectors that together received only about 2.6 billion in funding. About 80% of the funding has been focused on 3 segments: robotics, hardware, blockchain, Web3, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. It is lamentable that even among these, only a handful are focused on science-based innovation or engineering-based innovation. Considering India's development goals, the deep tech sector should be made as an important focus. Considering India's global leadership aspirations and the underlying value chain, it becomes urgent and imperative to focus on deep tech sectors. But why these deep tech sectors matter so much? Because they not only offer a multiplier effect to the economy, but can also improve the quality of life of more than 200 million people. The current initiatives and platforms are not geared towards a deep tech focused ecosystem. The first step to making that change is through the manufacturing sector. All of us know that the manufacturing is getting translated into Industry 4.0, and deep tech startups have to make a major contribution to take India to the highest level of Industry 4.0 accomplishment. This could be instrumental in improving R&D and prototyping iterations. Moreover, we must encourage multidisciplinary innovation directed at solving problems that are local and relevant to the industry clusters. There are certain sectors of exceptional importance where the market is unlikely to produce the desirable outcome on its own. Here it is necessary to fix the national priorities and work towards these as a mission. These include like alternate energy sources, clean energy, design and make in India, defense and aerospace sector, improving lives with IT-enabled health services, electric vehicle to methanol economy to biofuels to advanced gasification and combustion cycles and so on. Now, so far we have achieved 80 to 40, that is the global innovation index what we have achieved. But now the time has come to jump from 40 to less than 10. We have to be among the first 10 leaders as far as the various global situations are concerned. So the key driver of India's growth in the coming decade is going to be the role of the various states which have to really contribute towards the innovation ecosystem. The innovators and the investors have played their role over the last decade. The central and the state governments have the important roles of serving as ecosystem enablers and catalysts for innovation. The innovation quotient of states and union territory needs to improve. This requires an improvement in the state's educational institutions and scientific apparatus, including better infrastructure and better human resources and better strategies for innovation. An ecosystem in the states also has to support, as I mentioned, due to the complete innovation cycle. If we cannot remove those barriers, if we cannot provide the adequate funding at the right point, at the right time in the innovation cycle, then they are likely to run that these ideas will fall into the valley of death. So it becomes important that the states gear up with respect to all these aspects of the innovation ecosystem. State Skill Development Council and the State's Innovation Council will play a key role in ensuring these outcomes to be achieved. It is my hope that this workshop offers the opportunity for identifying critical gaps and challenges and sharing best practices and solutions that have helped overcome typical challenges. We endeavor to share similar insights through the India Innovation Index, where we highlight consistent good performance and our analysis of the factors contributing to their performance. To conclude, I would like to close by highlighting that innovation is not an activity, but a culture. We must all strive to maintain that culture of innovation. As policymakers, this includes not just promoting it through programs and schemes, but also by identifying and encouraging it in our day-to-day life as we work together, and if possible, even practice it through our work. Thank you very much. Wish you all the best for the conference.
Thank you, sir, for your enlightening address. Your reflective vision provides valuable perspectives on innovation and policy. We are grateful for the depth of knowledge you have shared with us today, and your presence has truly elevated the significance of this workshop. Ladies and gentlemen, I now request Shri Suman Bery, Vice Chairman NITI Aayog, for the Chairman's address. Sir, your unique blend of wisdom and experience is surely going to elevate our understanding and ignite fresh conversations on the future of innovation.
Thank you very much. Let me acknowledge the presence of Dr. Saraswat, Honorable Member, Dr. V.K. Paul in the audience, Secretary, Dr. Ravichandran, Secretary, Ministry of Earth Sciences, Dr. Sinha and the team that have helped bring this together. I think we have been very well served by two extremely substantive presentations, both on the importance of the blue economy and also about what it means to have a culture of innovation. And in my remarks, I would, in a sense, link this up with the broader task that NITI Aayog has been entrusted with by the Honorable Prime Minister, which is twofold, but they are linked. One is to focus very much on India's states and union territories, because it is only when they grow that India grows, but also to be looking ahead to Viksit Bharat at 2047. And indeed, this has a direct link with what Dr. Saraswat has just had to say, because what he calls, as a scientist and a very accomplished and productive practical scientist, as innovation, an economist might invert and talk about rising productivity. So the ultimate basis of economic growth is rising labor productivity, and some of this comes through what is happening to technological progress in the world outside, and in a minute I'll talk a little bit about AI, but a lot of it has to do with the absorption of what is happening on the global technological frontier within the society and within the economy, and that is very much the space that innovation needs to occupy. So let me start with NITI Aayog's, the whole context of this discussion. Even before NITI Aayog was created, at the time of the Planning Commission, the interaction with India's states was central to the mission. But on my watch, or since NITI Aayog has been created, all states and UTs are represented at NITI's governing council. And indeed, when I met with the Prime Minister before the job was offered to me, he did say that, look, you know a lot about the world outside, and that's fine, but your real focus has to be on the states, getting to know them, getting to support them. And this workshop, I understand, is an outcome of interactions with the states and union territories and responds to a felt need both for NITI to share the knowledge and wisdom within NITI, but much more important to provide a platform for the states and union territories to share their own experience, and I think there will be an opportunity for that in the program that has been prepared for the rest of the day. Now, the core focus not only of NITI but of the states and union territories and those who lead them, the chief ministers and the lieutenant governors, is economic development. And I think one of the things that has struck me very much in my 15 or 18 months on the job is the duality of our political leaders. Yes, they are vigorous politicians and they are very much engaged in political management of their states, but what I see at NITI's governing council is that these are also very experienced and dedicated development professionals. And so I think the purpose of a get-together like this is to make sure that those who serve the chief ministers and the lieutenant governors have access to the state of the art at the center and in other states. And I believe that fairly soon NITI will be launching a portal for the state support mission, as we call it, where best practice will be codified and the results of workshops like this would be made available. Now, I was very impressed at, I think it was the Science Day, which took place earlier this year at the yet-to-be completed Bharat Mandapam, when the Prime Minister articulated what he had in mind and which NITI is privileged to support and implement through the Atal Innovation Mission in creating an innovation and a scientific temper amongst India's youth. And as we look forward to Viksit Bharat at 2047, that is really something that is going to be propelled by those who are current bureaucrats, but ultimately will rest on the scientific temper of India's youth. And I have to say, coming into this role, to see the transformation in aspirations that has taken place from an educational system and a value system in families where all of the focus was on engineering, medicine, or the bureaucracy, to one where entrepreneurship, startups, all of this is now not considered a minority activity, but is considered a leading activity. I think that that is a transformation, and as somebody who'd lived for 25 years in the United States, I have to say that I think we are approaching the American attitude towards failure, the American attitude towards risk, much more quickly than I would have thought possible. And so when we talk about improving the innovation aptitude, I think we are talking about mindsets as well as some of the things that Dr. Saraswat referred to, which is thinking about innovation in a systematic way. He is right to say that India has contributed to global innovation for a long time, but my reading of economic history is that structured innovation in the West is actually a product of the 20th century. And indeed, what we have seen in global economic growth really starts in the 1870s, according to Brad DeLong, when certain institutions like the industrial lab were institutionalized. So as we make the transition from the India of the Hindu rate of growth to Viksit Bharat, it is institutionalizing innovation at various locations, which then becomes the challenge. And I have learned already in my time at NITI from Dr. Saraswat, from Dr. Vaishnav, about how much systematic the thinking has gone into into thinking about what Dr. Saraswat called the supporting ecosystem. Just 2 or 3 final points before we move to the main substantive session. The first is the division of labor between India and or the rich countries, perhaps exemplified by the United States and India. And here I'm very struck by what happened in the whole telecoms revolution. At that time, and of course we have come a long way as 5G and 6G demonstrate, at that time most of the underlying research was basically done in Nokia and in Ericsson, etc. But our key contribution, which made this a generally acceptable technology, was business process innovation. And so I, for myself, while accepting the importance of deep tech innovation, do believe that to distribute the fruits of global innovation, business process innovation is quite important. And this certainly would require, as it were, the startup ecosystem, but I also think we need to pay attention to other dimensions of the commercial ecosystem, particularly competition policy. So I think you need both the scientific temper, but also the regulatory framework to work hand in hand. Before I joined NITI Aayog, I was part of a continuing symposium at Oxford University, and we were talking about human development in emerging markets, and that forced us to think about what an emerging market is, or an emerging economy. And I've now come to the conclusion that what defines an emerging economy is the capacity to come up with domestic solutions, homegrown solutions for domestic problems, but then to have them disruptive on a global scale. So I think as we look to what we are wishing from our innovation culture, it's all of the above. It is that it should address domestic problems. And let me just say that the shift in the orientation of our IT firms is relatively recent. I mean, certainly at the time of Y2K, I would say even 2010, they were entirely focused on the offshore market. It was really when TCS got involved with the whole passport sort of experiment that they turned their attention to domestic problems, and DPI, the India Stack, etc., are an outcome of that reorientation. And so that must continue. But then we must also think about being disruptive on a global scale, which is what I think what's come out of the G20 on DPI is doing. And my final comment, and I'm sure I've exceeded my time, no, I think 11 o'clock was the next session, is AI. So it was represented to me, including during my visit to Chintan's alma mater, MIT, that if India has succeeded in harnessing the semiconductor revolution for economic development, the power of the AI development, of AI for the development challenges is going to be every bit as large. And Nandan Nilekani, in his quoted remarks at the Carnegie Summit a couple of days ago, was talking about, as it were, a use case approach to AI. And so I would certainly look to Dr. Saraswat, Dr. Vaishnav, others to assist both NITI and through NITI the states in thinking creatively about the application of AI to the development challenges of India. And that would mean identifying what those development challenges are and really what the databases are. And since I think of India having had a brief period in Europe as the equivalent of the European Union, each state would actually have to think about its development challenges and how data that it generates and AI could be used to tune that data to solve their problems. So Neeraj, thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Saraswat, for being the guardian angel of this whole area within NITI. I learned a lot from you, Dr. Ravichandran. And so let me hand myself back to you, and as they say, on with the games.
A heartfelt thank you, sir, for gracing us with your nuanced perspective. Your thoughtful insights, shaped by your years of expertise, have added depth to our discussions. Thank you for steering us towards a future fueled by creative solutions and progress. With this, as we draw the curtain on our inaugural session, I wish to express heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed dignitaries. Their insights have illuminated our path, and we are honored to have them with us. As a token of our appreciation, we would like to present a small gesture of gratitude. I would request Dr. Neeraj Sinha to felicitate the dignitaries. Shri Suman Bery, Vice Chairman, NITI Aayog. Dr. V.K. Saraswat, Honorable Member, NITI Aayog. Dr. M. Ravichandran, Secretary, Ministry of Earth Sciences,